Hey guys, it's Angie. So today I want to share with you my weekly roundup of what sold for me on eBay. As most of you know, my goal every week is to at least make $2,500 a week. So let's see if I made it. I missed it by 19 cents. My sales were $2,499.81. Hey, I will take that. I can handle having 19 cents. I'm sure I could dig in my drawer and find 19 cents somewhere. Now, I'm always trying to get above that number. $2,500 is a good week. I'm very happy with that. But the more I can do, the better. But realistically, I am super happy with that number because my mom and I have been focusing all of our attention on our death pile. So we haven't been buying a whole lot. I did go to the bins last week one day, which kills me. I want to go every day. But going one day and we bought about $70 worth of items, that's it. That's all the sourcing I've done in weeks. And so we have just been pulling everything out of our garage that's death pile. It's going down significantly because we're getting ready for yard sale season. So knowing that I'm making money on old inventory and just death pile stuff that I've had forever is really, really good because inventory is already paid for. I'm not actually putting any more output of money at this point. It's just what's coming in. So that's super good. So let's take a look at some of the highlights for the week. The first item I sold is this blow mold. Now this is not a vintage blow mold. It is current. It is 24 inches tall, very, very cute Christmas tree. The shipping was terrible for this thing. Of course, someone in California purchased it, and it literally cost $59 to ship it, even UPS ground. Just being 26 inches just made it so the dimensional weight was terrible. Unfortunately, it seems like every time I have something large like this, someone on the West Coast wants it. Okay, the next item that sold were these lot of Barbies. I purchased these at an estate sale, something I never even go to estate sales, but they happen to have these, and I asked them how much for all of them, and they said $5. I was super surprised. What I didn't realize when I bought them was that every one of the Barbies was from 1966. They must have thought the 1966 ones were super valuable. There was one Ken doll for 1968, and then there were two other dolls that were Kenner and something else that I just threw in, but it's not included in the 17 Barbie doll lot. Anyways, those sold very, very quickly in about a day for $49.45. Then I picked up this Scrubs. I didn't have it listed 2 hours before it sold. This is seasons 1 through 9 on 31 discs, and it did sell for $49.95. This is something I had in my inventory since last summer for sure. It is a shoe shiner, which is kind of cool. It's definitely vintage. It was pretty heavy. It did sell for my asking price of $29.66. This is something that was in my death pile forever. It is a vintage shower curtain. The reason I had not listed it before was because it didn't have a brand and I didn't want to open it. So I just listed it as vintage mod retro 1960s vinyl shower curtain. And don't you know, the thing sold in 24 hours for my asking price of $26.95. Perfect example of getting things out of your death pile and onto eBay. I always part out items when I can, especially little kitchen appliances. This is no exception. This was a pressure cooker lid for an Emerald Lagasse pressure cooker and air fryer. The lid by itself sold for $34.16 plus $15.85 shipping. I'm not sure I could have sold the whole thing for that. And I've also sold the bowl for $31 and another piece for $10. So I'm definitely in the profit for this. And I only paid $5 for the whole thing. This is actually J. Crew Reimagined, which is sustainable products. I do like to pick those up when I find them because people are actually looking specifically for that. I was happy to find this. It was brand new with tags in my death pile. Sold it in about a week for $35.95. This actually I bought at the bins last week. It's a Quartermaster's rain jacket. I thought it was in really nice shape. It weighed about 1.5 pounds, so that means I paid about $3 for it, and it sold for $34.16. I had these for a while. Anytime I see something like this, it brings me back to my childhood when we wore crazy two-tone stuff like this. These are Western Ethics vintage 1980s shorts. They are in a little bit bigger size, 13-14, which is really more like a 10 for today's sizing. But they took a while to sell because I got so many offers of about $20, and I thought I'm gonna hold off because I really think they're gonna sell for my price, and they did. They sold for $34.60. Speaking of vintage, these are Wrangler vintage shorts. They're size 8, which is really like a 4-6 nowadays. I actually picked up, I think, 4 or 5 pairs of Wrangler vintage. All the other ones were actually new with tags. These ones sold for $22.45. Unfortunately, they are getting returned because she expected them to be a size 8. And even though right here in my listing, I have measurements, she did not read that and assumed an 8 is an 8. And unfortunately, vintage is not the same size as current clothes, but I'm sure I'll have no problem relisting those and selling them again. These were honestly just... I thought really ugly leather pants, but I had a feeling somebody would want these. They're vintage tops, and they still had the Spiegel from, the Spiegel catalog that used to come out. So they still had the Spiegel tag on it plus the Toffs tag. They were new with tags, and I was surprised that they sold in about 10 days for $35.95. Members only jacket. I used to love picking these up, and this one actually sold for a good price. I took a best offer of $28, but honestly, I have sat on these member-only jackets now for a long time. I've had several of them, and I guess the value has just gone down over time. Some people still like them. They're like 70s or early 80s, but I'm not sure I would pick these up unless I got them for like $1 or $2 going forward, just because I sit on them for a super long time now. And maybe if I just sold them for $20, they would sell really quickly. But I guess I'm stubborn and I still want to sell them for $30+. Casual Corner is not really a brand that I pick up anymore because they've been out of business for a few years now. But this was new with tags and it said made in Italy, so I did pick it up. When you do have something new with tags, I do try to put in what the retail price is if I have space in the listing. That seems to help it with the sales. People know how much it was retail, and it sold for $22.45. Calvin Klein, here's the same thing. New with tags, $89, and listed it for like 3 days, and it sold for $29.66. And this was an actual express jumpsuit. I picked this up at the bins, so I paid less than $2 for it, and it sold for $20.66. Lily Pulitzer, anytime I find Lily Pulitzer, obviously I picked that up. These sold in a day for $22.45, and they had a little bit of wash fade, but not bad. This is a perfect example that if you have something that has a flaw, you can still sell it. This Patagonia is a quarter zip. You can see that there are some gaps in the zipper. Now the zipper works currently. It's kind of below the point that you would keep it zipped. So I disclosed that, and I did sell it for $17.50 on a best offer. If you have something that is a really good brand, don't be afraid to pick it up even if it has a flaw. Just make sure you disclose it and price it a little less than everyone else to account for the flaw, and someone will be happy with it. And actually, I got a message from the buyer just confirming the details. I explained exactly what was wrong, and he was still happy and made a best offer on it, and we made the sale. Always pick up Torrid. It does really well. Just make sure if you pick up any Torrid pants, you check between the legs, because us girls with some thighs will have chafing. So a lot of times if you just have a sweater shaver, that will get off any pilling that are there, but you just want to check for wear. But this dress sold in about a week for $26.95. Masuk. This is not a brand that I ever find, but my friend Diana found this at the bins. It did have a stain on it, but my mom is the stain master, and of course she worked her magic on it, and the stain is gone, and I sold it for $44.95. Thanks, Mom. Swimsuit season is here. I'm selling a lot of swimsuits. I only showed a couple here, but If you have swimsuits, get them on. This is a brand new tag Ralph Lauren swimsuit. It did sell for $31.45. And then I had this Longitude, which is more of a vintage look to me, and it sold for $26.95. And guys, I think they were both listed like 3 or 4 days and they sold. Something else from my death pile that's been there a year or more was this really neat belly dancing costume. Now, the reason I hadn't listed it prior was because a few of the coins on the bottom are missing. We showed a picture here of the missing coins to show that they are missing, and we state in here, there are a few coins, beads missing that can be easily replaced. See pictures for detail. And it's a non-size, so I said mannequin is a size medium, but it can be adjusted up or down from an extra small to a large. I was not sure what this would sell for. I didn't even know what to list it for, so I kind of listed it on the little bit lower side because it was actually super nice. And it sold the same day I listed it. Should have listed it higher, but hey, I'm glad something's been sitting there for probably 2 years sold in a day. Mirrors. Actually, I picked these up last week at the bins. I found quite a few shoes. If you haven't seen that, definitely check out that video. But these mirrors were in super nice shape, and I sold them for $35.95 within a few days. This is one of those small group Bible study kits. The reason I wanted to point this out to you is because this set is not complete. It includes 6 DVDs, the leader guide, and some printouts. There are 2 other books and I think a movie that would come with this, but it's super expensive to buy it all. So even though it was not complete, it still sold for $26.95. Oh, I showed these a while ago. These were little tobacco containers, vintage Prince Albert crimp cut long burning pipe and cigarette tobacco. They were just empty. I had no idea what to list them for because that's not my niche, but I thought they were super interesting from the bins, and they sold in a few weeks for $22.45. My sister gave me this. It is a Potley 420 hand mirror from Jeffree Star. It was brand new. I did take a best offer of $24.50, so they paid $30 all in for this. Anytime you find little samples, especially of Mary Kay, Estee Lauder, anything like that, definitely pick them up if you can get a great price. These I paid $1 for all of them. So there were like 7 little sample size. They were all super small. So if you ever see little travel or sample sizes, they actually sell when you lot them together. These sold for $17.95 plus shipping in just a few days. And then my final item is my lowest item of the week. But remember, all sales are important. My 100th item for the week is this Maybelline Python lip makeup kit. It was brand new. I sold it for $6.92, and that was with free shipping. But I have had this for about a year. It was brand new. I'm super happy that somebody can use it, and one more item out of my inventory. So that's it for this week. $2,500 in sales, minus 18 cents, 100 items out the door, and we're moving on to this week. Now, I was out of town on Saturday and Sunday going to a concert with my daughters. It was super fun. We went to see Chris Daughtry and we hung out at Dave & Buster's. We ate at this amazing restaurant called Katie's that we always go to when we're in New Orleans. And we just had a really amazing time. And luckily, my mom was here kicking butt doing listings, so when I came back, there were so many drafts and things for me ready to go. That's a great thing about having a partner in a business, is because when you're not there, they're still keeping it going and making money for us both. Well, that's it for my sales this week. I hope you're having a great week of sales. I really want to build up my sales once I get this death pile done. So I'm seriously, anxiously waiting for garage sales to start. I'm hoping that we're finally gonna have a nice weekend this weekend. So crossing my fingers that I will have maybe a yard sale video coming up next week. All right, guys, have a wonderful day. I hope you're having great sales and everyone is doing well. I'll see you next time. Bye.